Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel Saseka Soccer News with myself Mpumi Nguna. This is a YouTube channel where we talk about all things South African soccer. I know you love the game of soccer, you're passionate about it, and I want to extend the conversation with you so that we can have extra time, extra minutes to talk about this game that unites us, that brings people together, and of course to celebrate all the good moments that we have in football. So today I'm wearing my TS Galaxy t-shirt. I know that there's a lot of things happening at TS Galaxy right now, but I'm doing a live update to really just let you in on my 2022 year and the time I spent with the TS Galaxy Club. So first things first, I just had our second born baby and I was in the midst of losing weight, and this opportunity came up to really let me get to join in on a club. I've been praying to really work with a soccer club to understand the business of soccer. How do things go on? We watch those 90 minutes of sheer brilliance, or sometimes not sheer brilliance, but we watch those 90 minutes and we're amazed at what happens. But it takes so many people, such a big team, a lot of work as well, a lot of money in order to get to those 90 minutes to come together. And I really, really wanted to get close to a team and understand the business side of soccer. So this is what today's episode is about. And of course, I am going to share with you in the next coming weeks an interview with a subject matter expert on what is the business of soccer. So come February 2022, I got to meet Tim Sukazi, and he is the founder of TS Galaxy, which is Tim Sukazi Galaxy Soccer Club, and he founded it in 2016, I think, around about there. And what was beautiful about this club, we all remember them as the club that took out Kaizer Chiefs in the Nedbank Cup, and we remember this man who had his hat on, took off his hat, and he did such a brilliant celebration just to see how a first division team had come onto the PSL at the time and had shaken the PSL, one of the big giants of the PSL teams, and beaten them 1-0 to take the Nedbank Cup. So we got an opportunity to really be part of the TS Galaxy Media Briefing team, and what that meant was we got to interact with the players, interact with the coaches, interact with industry personnel, sportscasters, sports analysts as well, just to understand how they do their work and how all of us are part of the same chain. One thing that really stood out for me from this experience was knowing your facts, knowing your players. Where do they come from? What team have they come from? How long have they been playing? Doing your research. I got to learn about how to actually research for an interview. Before you come and talk to somebody, you've got to know this is a left back, this is a right back. So is he right footed? Is he left footed? And then from understanding the position, understanding his strengths, then you're going to know the game plan. We also got to come and be on site, on the ground, see the players getting together, putting their tactics together for the big games. And for me, it was really amazing to see all of the preparation that goes through. Everyone is there, all hands on deck before a big game as well. So that was really, really insightful. I think I also got to understand, the upkeep of a club. TS Galaxy, we got to be at their training grounds. I won't tell you where that is, obviously for obvious reasons, but we got to see the training grounds. We got to be a part of the team. You would watch them train, and afterwards we would interact with the players, interview them, how you're feeling ahead of this game. Coach has been saying some things to you, your chairman is saying some things to you as well. Where's your head at? We got to interact with legends like Habo Vuyo, guys who've played for Swallows, Maritzburg United, and now he's there at TS Galaxy. And just to see the role that he has at TS Galaxy, he's like a mentor, a big brother. I loved interacting with him one day where he was challenging the attackers to say, at my age, you should be running circles around me. So that talks to you. You're getting a bit lazy. You need to work on yourself. And I love to see that camaraderie, because we often don't see those kind of moments when we're watching the game. You always hear that there's egos and people don't really get along. But just to see it firsthand and to see how the guys are working well together, that was a very big moment for myself. Another big highlight with working with the club, I got to interview Coach Siad a couple of times. We formed a relationship. He really also started to look at us as sportscasters, people who understand the game, want to get insights, want to grow as well. We learned a lot from him, and just in terms of that 90 minutes that I speak about, what actually happens, how did he get to these tactics? he's actually got a coaching certificate. So nobody just wakes up and says, okay, today I'm going to coach soccer, but he went and he studied so that he knows how to play different kind of players. That for me was a big eye-opener. So whenever I watch the game now, I know, okay, this person is crossing here, that person is crossing there, because this is the formation that they play. And it really gave me better insights in terms of understanding the game of soccer. And I guess it reinforced my love for the game, to say this is why you support soccer, this is why you're watching the game of soccer. Another big highlight with working with TS Galaxy Media team, definitely interacting with the players, getting them to also see us as a credible partner. Again, I will say, doing your research. You don't just come to a player and start asking him questions, because he's going to look at you like, okay, you don't know what you're talking about. I definitely wanted to also not be a pretty face. I'm not going to lie. I wanted to really show that I'm there. I've got the credentials. I've got my facts. I know my story, and I want you to treat me as a professional. And that came across from first impressions, your handshake, getting them settled for the interview, and also just saying, this is what we're going to talk about. Are you comfortable? Can we then go into the conversation? I'm going to show you some pictures, okay, so don't stress, but I really loved how the feedback they gave to me was, this was a really great interview, you're really good at what you do. And I mean, here's the thing, you work hard at something, you believe in yourself, but to hear a real player that you watched on TV a year ago suddenly says, you're really good at what you're doing, and that was a great interview, doing very well, that was like, wow, okay, you're on the right track, keep going. So a very big highlight for me. It meant a lot for my professional career as well, and definitely I learned so much about the players and interacting with them. Another thing that I will say is, my goodness, the food. I mean, you have to let the players train, and then after that you have to feed them. And I saw how much they consume, but you have to feed players in a certain way if you want to get the results. So that also was a big eye-opener, to say, this is the business of soccer. This is everything that feeds into that 90 minutes that you're going to see on the weekend or whenever. And of course, just understanding what travel does, the impact that travel does. I travel myself, and you're tired by the time you get to your destination. Imagine they have to travel, and now they have to play, so their performance also has to be at a certain level, incorporating all of that. Was a bit disappointed that my schedule didn't align, and I couldn't travel with the team just to actually feel what that impact was. And that's something that I still hope for in the future with any club, just to say, I'd love the full experience, to travel with you, to watch a game, to broadcast live at a game. And I think another big highlight that I want to mention is the role that Tim Sugazi played. Chairman, he was open. I mean, he let us have free reign. He let us come on site, come to the grounds, interact with the players, interview them, interview the coaches, and I also got to interview him. So that was like a big, big moment to say, wow, okay, Tim Sugazi, you're sitting right there on the seat with him, and I mean, you asking him questions, you're putting him on the hot seat. And I just loved how he was really open to say, I'm giving you guys the space to learn, I'm giving you guys the space to get exposure, and that for me was something I will treasure forever. So thank you so much for that opportunity. One of the big highlights of 2022 have to be, I secured my very first international interview. So I got to interview Hans Adusape, and the beautiful story is that he's Ghanaian German. He got to play with Coach Sead Ramovic in Germany, and then once they played together, he brought him over to say, come and see the team that I'm coaching, come and see what I'm doing here, and see if you can add any insights to what I'm doing. And also showed you that relationships are very important. You build relationships along your career, and this was a relationship that had formed that I was able to be a recipient of, and it was a dream come true for me to interview Hans and just really secure my first international interview. And again, securing very good feedback from him that this was an excellent interview, and I mean, he even vlogged it on his YouTube. So, sorry, not on his YouTube, on his Instagram, which really also shows that he took that experience, and for him it was, wow, South African ladies interviewing me. I mean, I haven't even got credentials to say, okay, I'm at the level of the big guys, but for him it was, this was a really great interview and you've done well. So that stood out to say, God, I see you're working and things are falling into place. I do want to say this, that with TS Galaxy, working with the team, we also got to get exposed to media guys. So they have media briefing sessions, and we see real media personalities, the SABC, I said the name, but I mean, real personalities, real institutions coming, getting interviewing the chairman, and then we'd also get a turn to interview the chairman. So it gave us a seat at the table. They looked at us as worthy our counterparts, and there was never a thing of, okay, you from this institution and I'm from here, and I might be shooting content for YouTube and you have really made it because you're working for a broadcasting station. But really it was just, okay, you've got your 5 minutes, I'll take my 5 minutes. I will say that I was a little bit nervous to, as they say, shoot your shot and get credentials to say, okay, here's my details, let's connect, let's build a community. I think now I'm more braver. There I was like, you know what, you are starting out, don't come across too strong, but it's something that I would definitely be keen to do in future. I'm not going to name drop, but you know, I got to meet some people, which was really great, and they also would watch me do interviews and they'd say, okay, wow, you know your story. So I think it was also just seeing that everything is coming to place, the seeds are being planted, and that is something that I'll definitely treasure from my experience at TS Galaxy. So of course, I promised you pictures. I want to show you what the year was about and the journey, and just for you to see the kind of players that we've interviewed, and we've got to share their stories and also just hear from them about what the game of soccer means to them. I will say this, one of the interviews that really stuck out to me, one of the players had just had a baby, and this was no longer just a career that he was doing for fun, but this was feeding his child, feeding his family. And it also just reinforced that as much as we watch the game and we're celebrating them winning the cups, it's a career, it's a job, you know. They have to work hard to train, and then they also have to make sure that they deliver so that they can earn their 90 minutes or their 60 minutes or their 45 minutes. Understanding why we're making a substitute now and when are we going to make a substitute, those decisions also play a role in the players' minds, because they know that I want to get more game time, I want to prove myself, I want to earn my stay here, and I want to earn my position. One of the things that I didn't enjoy, the heat. I mean, it was hot, it was summer, and the guys would just be training throughout. They have this zero tolerance attitude that we are just going to be here, we're going to train, we're going to give it our all. Even when it was cold, they would wear obviously longer material, thicker material, just to protect them from the cold, but they would still be all at it just to make sure that they get in those extra hours. You spend time with the goalkeeper, seeing how he's putting in extra time just to make sure that he doesn't get any goals conceded against him, and also just to make sure that he keeps his focus. So for me, one of the highlights would have to be spending the 2022 with TS Galaxy and just learning from the team, learning from the club, and interacting with those names that you see on TV, and then finally they are so close to you. I think one thing that I also learned is not to be, I don't want to say groupie, but not to be shell-shocked. You know, stick to your game plan. What are you here to do? I'm here to report. I'm here to get an interview. I've done my research. I've contacted my subject matter experts, so I know what I'm coming to deliver. So don't be fazed by, oh my gosh, it's this person, they have so many followers. Just do your job. And in doing that, you wipe away the followers, the publicity, the fame about it, and you really talk to the essence of who the person is and the essence of what this interview is going to carry. And that stood me so many grounds, and it just really helped to solidify me as a presenter, sportscaster, and also just my journey as well. And that would be something I'd want to leave with you, to say, forget about the person and rather focus on the work. And once you do that, it will take you one step further. So take a look at my highlights of my year at TS Galaxy, and please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I always love to hear from you. And of course, this year, 2023, I would say that the best is yet to come. I do want to spend more time with another club to get more exposure and diversify, but I'll definitely keep you posted on what's going to happen there. For now, enjoy the video and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This is Saseka Soccer News.